Now, Joan London and Hugh Downs.
Hello, I'm Joan London.
And I'm Hugh Downs. In the next few minutes, we're going to share a story that is more than amazing. It could literally change your life at home and at work.
Have you ever felt like you're stuck at your weight, stuck in your job, stuck in your career, or even stuck in your marriage?
Let's take work. Are you seeing all the success you could ever hope for? Are you excited about your work day in and day out, or is it just a way to collect a paycheck?
Or how about your personal relationships? Is your relationship with your spouse or significant other everything you want it to be, or could there be improvement there as well?
The truth is, most men and women are not experiencing near the success and fulfillment that they wish they could.
Well, according to one man, it doesn't have to be that way. He says that anyone can achieve greater success and fulfillment than they've ever dreamed possible, regardless of their current success or past failures. We are talking about Stephen K. Scott, author of the best-selling book Mentored by a Millionaire. If you saw his recent interview on Larry King Live, then you would know why Amazon.com and every other bookstore sold out of his book immediately after that one interview. His books have now been published throughout the world.
Along with his partners, he built more than a dozen multi-million-dollar companies from scratch, with over $2 billion in sales.
Just as amazing, he later discovered that the same strategies that made him millions in business also work just as powerfully when applied to the personal side of life.
And here's the best part. His company has now begun a project to spend millions of dollars mentoring others in his life-changing strategies and skills and techniques.
I've known Steve Scott for over 30 years. When I first met him, I was making $20,000 a year, I had 3 children, and using just 2 of his strategies. Just a few years later, I was making $2 million a year.
I work less hours, I make more money, and I have a heck of a lot better time doing what I'm doing.
I can use them in every area of my life. I've been able to use them with my marriage, in parenting, and my career. These strategies have changed my life.
It's really exciting to have a little company that just 2 years ago was a startup. Using Steve's strategies, this year we'll do millions in sales. It's incredible.
Steve was recently here in New York, where he and his program are the subject of a new public television special. We met with him in our studio to take a closer look at how this program could forever change your life and the life of millions of others.
Hi everybody, I'm Gary Bender. Max International co-founder Stephen K. Scott has been a close friend of mine for 25 years. But for those of you who don't know Steve, let me tell you a little bit about him. Partnering with many of America's most famous personalities, he has created more than 24 multi-million-dollar companies from scratch, doing billions of dollars in sales. Steve considers his newest venture, Max International, to be the most important project of his life, one which he believes can significantly impact the health and happiness of millions of people, and at the same time, provide tremendous opportunities for greater levels of success.
You know, for 30 years, I've been looking for breakthrough products. From our very first product that we launched on TV 30 years ago with Pat Boone and his daughter, until even now, we're always at American Telecast looking for breakthrough products. I remember when Richard Simmons came to me with a Ziploc bag full of construction paper, different colors, and I said, Richard, what's that? And he says, I call it Deal-A-Meal. And I said, well, what's Deal-A-Meal? And he said, it's the first system in history where a person doesn't have to count calories to lose weight. They get different colors of paper for different food groups. And they learn how to budget their meals because guess what? If you run out of meats at lunchtime, you don't get any meats at dinner because you're all out of that color of paper. And I said, Richard, that is genius. But we can't sell a baggie with pieces of cut construction paper. So we turned it into Deal-A-Meal, a wallet, some cards, recipe cards, cookbooks, and so on. But it was a breakthrough. Nobody had ever done it. When Jane Fonda came to me with a treadmill, it was different than any other treadmill out there. Why? It didn't have a motor, and it was a lot less expensive. And it wasn't about running. It was about walking. It was a breakthrough. When a professor from Arizona State University brought to me a very simple study skills program that we could put on tape that would literally turn D students into A students overnight. John Ritter tried it. Michael Landon tried it. They loved it. It changed everything. We literally took millions of kids from B's and C's and D's to straight A's with that. That was a breakthrough. I remember when the Total Gym first came into our view, and I asked the guys, I said, what's so unique about this? And they said, well, it exercises body parts the way that they need to be exercised because it's functional. You know, we don't operate in one plane. We don't just do curls like that. We're lifting here, we're lifting there, we're lifting down here. The Total Gym does every single plane of motion, every range of motion. And it's fun because it's not static, it's dynamic, it's always moving. And they demonstrated it, and I said, man, that is a breakthrough. And today, Total Gym is the #1 selling piece of strength training equipment in the world, okay? It was a breakthrough. But every breakthrough I ever found was always introduced on TV. We always married a celebrity to it. Well, one day, an investment banker told me about a supplement that was totally unique. And I said, well, what's so unique about it? He said, well, #1, it wasn't created by a company. It was created by one of the world's leading medical researchers, a medical doctor that was an oncologist, a hematologist, immunologist. This guy was #1. He had been on the scientific review panels of the National Institutes of Health, of the VA, of the Hemophilia Federation. He was appointed to the Board of Governors of the American Academy of HIV Medicine, one of the most prestigious appointments in medicine. This man has created a supplement, and he created it to help his sick patients get healthier. And he had the sickest of sick. He literally had people that were dying every day. And it built their immune system. And I said, okay, that sounds pretty interesting, but I'm still not that interested in supplements. And he said, well, let me tell you what's different about this supplement from any other supplement that's ever been out there. He said, it can be verified and quantified through a blood test what it is doing to every cell in the human body. And it's provable, verifiable, quantifiable. I said, really? He said, yeah. So I said, okay, I'll meet with your doctor. I met with Dr. Keller, and I was blown away. I was blown away by a whole bunch of things. #1, by his credentials. #2, by his passion for his patients. This was a man who was so committed to helping his patients stay healthy, and he was focused on coming up with a supplement that could really dramatically change things for those people. I heard his passion, and I saw what went into the making of this supplement. And as he showed me the test, the simple blood test, and how it could be quantified in the lymphocytes, do you realize that you can eat a barrel of oranges, you can drink antioxidant juices till you're blue in the face, you could drink all the blueberries, all the red wine you want, and if I do a blood test on you, I won't be able to see one single change at a cellular level. I can't do it. And all of a sudden, I'm looking at this supplement that was quantifiable, was verifiable. Okay, so I saw that. I learned the science behind his product. He gave me an illustration that was unbelievable. He said, you know, when you ingest an antioxidant, it's literally, it's like that helicopter that puts out a forest fire, puts out a patch of trees. It dips a bucket into the lake, pulls it out, dumps it on a patch of trees in the middle of the fire. That's great for that patch of trees that puts out their fire. But you still have millions of trees around it that are still on fire. Well, that's what ingesting an antioxidant does. It puts out a little patch of oxidative fires in a few cells, but it doesn't put out the fires in most of the cells. He told me that this product is completely different. It's like having an underground lake underneath every tree in the forest. And that with a flip of the switch, you can turn every branch of every tree into a sprinkler system so that every tree puts out its own fire. It doesn't have to worry about the rest of the forest. That's what our product does. It gives every cell in the human body what it needs to produce more of its own antioxidant, the most powerful antioxidant known to man, glutathione.